Hey everyone, Jim Gonzalez here, EDI Support LLC. It's another Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's having a great Wednesday and not having the dreary weather that we're having here in Pennsylvania. But so today what we want to do is we want to go through and we want to talk about the need of EDI plus a pick pack software for streamlining operations. So as I talk to different size companies and I talk to them about their EDI needs and I talk to them about how products are flowing within their organization, one of the big things that always comes up is figuring out how they handle their shipments, how they label their products, how they do packing slips, all of those things, because it's a matter of, what style of business are you doing? Are you doing, shipping direct to customer, direct to, a store, a warehouse, distribution centers, like all of these things? What are you doing when you're moving your product? Okay. And how are you essentially saying what items are in a box? How much of an item is physically available to be shipped? Um, Again, there's those intricacies that also bear mind on EDI, because EDI, if we're looking at just say an inventory advice, so in most cases, an EDI trading partner is going to want to know what inventory you have available. What can we buy from you? How much of that is available? They're going to want to know that, especially if they're dealing with direct customers on a daily basis. Okay. So typically, clients will have some type of, ERP, inventory management system, warehouse management system, all of those things. Or they might be, hey, we just deal with Shopify and we just do FedEx shipments and UPS shipments. So we're just shipping single cartons, no pallets, none of that stuff. But eventually, our product, we're hoping to get to the pallet level and everything else. Well, hey, start thinking from an operational standpoint. Can the product that you are utilizing actually handle what you're looking to do? Because if you're going direct to customer or drop ship, there might be a trading partner might require custom packing slips. So the packing slip has to actually indicate who it came from, being the EDI trading partner, not being you or your organization. So you might have to do some custom because, hey, right now we just get a generic packing slip that shows our company, not our trading partners. Well, in some drop ships, the trading partner wants to seem as though it's coming from them, not from you and your facility. So you might have to do that. You might be required to do ASNs, advanced ship notices, 856s. Well, if you're required to do that, somehow, some way, you have to be able to indicate what's in a box. So you might need, if your ERP or accounting software or whatever it may be, might not have that functionality. So you might have to add that functionality as an add-on. Now, do you have to go as far as adding on a full-blown, warehouse management software? You might not. You might just need something that can make up for the lack of abilities that you have in your current system. If your current system can't handle it, you have to figure out and be able to identify what's needed. I just talked to a client the other day, or a prospect, I should say, that was telling me about their current, operations, business flow, business processing, all of those things. And part of that was me saying to them, well, how do you pack your products? Are you shipping direct to customer? Or are you shipping retail where you're going to a warehouse or a store or any of those type of things? Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you moving your products? Do you have any plans of, yeah, right now you're doing direct to customer. Do you have any plans maybe down the road dealing with retail and direct to stores and all of that kind of stuff, or putting it on shelves, that answers some things. Or are you only planning on being, an e-com where you just have your Shopify site? All of these things come into play. All of these things have questions. Most of the time, the software that you select might not be the software that's appropriate in the future. You might be able to print custom labels, but you can't get an actual shipment file out of it to make up for your back-end processing with your financial software, because you don't have a full-blown, ERP, or you don't have a WMS. So you have to start asking these questions of yourself, and there's many different ones that are out there. Again, I just rattle off different names of different companies that I've run across, different organizations that I've used in the past and currently, and all those things. I'm not saying which one is the best for you. That's not my job. My job is basically to move the data, but it's also to make you aware, as far as from an EDI standpoint, if you're going to do these things, you need to set in some research and do some due diligence. So you can look into PaceJet and what does PaceJet offer? ShipStation, what does ShipStation offer? What is ShipHawk and ShipBob and all these different ship softwares? Do they allow for pick pack? Do they allow for standard pack? Do they allow for generating a shipment file that we can use to create an ASN? I always say, where's the data coming from? If you can tell me where the data is coming from, I have no problems. Like, if you can't, then that's a problem. Now, I don't want you to be doing, 50 ASNs a week or in a day or in a couple hours, because that starts to get a little overwhelming. And when you factor in how many people it takes to do that, how many hours per week, well, that's a financial cost. So could you put a system in place to help alleviate that, to make it easier on your team? Is that a pain point? Is that, all of those things? So different software that's out there, some have capabilities of printing custom labels. Some have capabilities of printing and interacting with direct carriers instead of just being FedEx and UPS. And I'm not knocking FedEx and UPS or DHL or any of those different companies, but just know that you can go to their sites and you can print off their requirements. But what if you have a retail EDI trading partner that also has their requirements on top of that? How are you going to get those taken care of? Do you have such a robust system that, it can do packing slips, it can do customizations, it can do labels, it can do all these things, and it can create them, but some of them have shortcomings where they don't actually print. It's weird. Different systems that I've run across out there over the 26 years of doing this, they don't have a means of sending it to the printer. It'll come up and it'll be there. Okay, well, I might need something to finish it off. Or it might be a selection of, we can get it, but we also need to select a labeling software or reporting software. Is that Crystal Reports that can help you? Is that Bartender? Is that, and the list, not that it's overly long, but that list goes on and on and on. And we've done it in different aspects. You have to have an answer to that. So figuring out that business process and figuring out where does these different things integrate, and where does EDI need to grab the data, handle the data, look at the data, and all of that. So a lot of the times it comes down to figuring that out and putting it and piecing it all together to help yourself. So if you can't piece it and put it all together, how are we supposed to enhance it and do it from an automation standpoint using EDI? If we can't enhance and automate a business process that you already have in place, we're at a deficiency. I'm looking to you and going, if we can't get the data from somewhere and we can't compile your shipment files, you're going to have to make up for that manually. Do you really want to do that? How many files are you having to do to make up for that? It's easy when you're just doing 1 shipment file a week or 5 shipment files a week. But when you're doing 500, 1,000, you have to start looking at all the different moving parts and the different systems. One of my prospects had asked me the other day, hey, what ERP should we look at? Listen, EDI Support LLC, we're agnostic when it comes to the ERP. We've dealt with a lot of them, just like packing software, just like labeling products, just like any of that. I'm not going to tell you which one you should utilize. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at your business process and I'm going to give you some insight. Hey, did you think of this? I know you're doing direct to customer. I know you're looking, but understand, do your research on those different entities. Like I have clients that use NetSuite with PasteJet, have no problems, but it fits their business needs. There's other clients and other prospects that I've run across and they're like, oh my God, I can't get PasteJet up and running. It's not doing what we're doing. We do these unique things. And I'm like, okay, you're going to have to talk to your ERP and your PasteJet people. That's not what EDI support does. We can give you and tell you, hey, these other people look at Ship Junction because they felt as though that was the answer for them. You know, people think, again, that you can put all businesses into a box. I am truly a believer that not all businesses fit into a box. And actually, most of them don't. When they truly sit down and think of things, they do a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of uniqueness in their process load and how they do things. So asking me and my team what we would tell you to do, it really doesn't work that way, because we're here from an EDI integration API standpoint of moving data, converting data, doing all those things. The business process already has to be figured out. If you have a lack and a deficiency in the product that you're using because it's only able to handle UPS, or it's only able to handle FedEx, or it's only, again, those onlys, you have to figure out through your consultings. If you need individuals to help you, that's what they do, I can give you referrals. I can tell you of companies that you can talk to and they can possibly help you out. I even have companies that do custom labeling solutions. So if you want to go down that route, I can hand you off to somebody that'll help you get your label printers, that'll help you get your printer paper, that'll help you build a full custom system to figuring out what you need. And they even build custom WMSs. Now, do I know what that's going to cost? No, but that's on you. Making up for lacks and deficiencies in certain products, whether it's Shopify, whether, again, it's PasteJet, whether it's, ShipStation, whether it's Ship Junction, whether it's all of these different things, or your ERPs, NetSuite, Acumatica, SAP, HANA, and Business One, and D365. You have to figure that out. You have to put it together. You have to figure out which one's going to do what and where does the data come from. The nice thing that, again, speaking to a client, they have NetSuite, they have PasteJet. We're able to take that data from PasteJet and use it, that gets sucked and consumed into NetSuite, and create an ASN from it. The data's there. The data's available. So that's really what I had to go through today. Is I'm just trying to go through and give people insights and understandings as to selecting the solution that makes sense, looking at the different products that you have that are out there to help yourself out, and understanding you need an expert to help you with that. If you don't have a supply chain or an operations manager and you've never done all these different moving parts, well, guess what? Get a consultant for a few hours that can come in and say, hey, I've been doing this for X amount of time, or I've done this for all these different things. Let me help you. I can help you through the selection criteria of picking the labeling software, picking the ERP, making sure that you're doing the things that are appropriately, and putting a team together. Because again, as a single individual, we're never going to succeed by ourselves. We need a team of people that have done this, that have understand it. If you need a team that is able to move data, convert data, APIs, EDIs, integrations, any of those type of things, reach out. EDI Support LLC, we're here to help you. We do this day in and day out. We don't care what shipping system you're using. We don't care what labeling product you're using. I don't care if you're using a homegrown built system. It's where's the data coming from? What's the format of the data? What format do we need to go to? All of those things. I appreciate everybody always sitting in, listening to my spiel, listening to what I go into. Hopefully you find this is giving you a little bit of advice, a little bit of things that you need to look into and understand. I could get further into this if you wanted to. Just reach out. We can talk about Azalea fonts. We can talk about, barcoding, UCC 128s, SSCC 18s. We can talk about all of those things, okay? Because I've dealt with it for years. Again, Jim Gonzalez, EDI Support, LLC. Follow us, like us, comment. Check out the comment section for all the links. You can grab time with me, use them at Calendly. I'm here to help you out. Have a great day. Hopefully the weather gets a little bit better here in Pennsylvania. It's a little dreary, but take care, everybody. Bye-bye.